The ECB is ready to do whatever it takes to preserve the euro. And believe me, it will be enough.
The Governing Council, within its mandate to maintain price stability over the medium term, and in observance of its independence in determining monetary policy, may undertake outright open market operations of a size adequate to reach its objective.
We'll talk about overpromise and underdeliver. We'll do whatever it takes has become, we might do something. Instead of providing a virtually unlimited exit for private holders of Italian and Spanish bonds, which is what the market expected and wants, the European Central Bank has said it will buy some short-dated bonds, but only on the usual strict conditions. There are competing objectives here. The ECB might like to do whatever it takes to keep the euro together, but the Germans want to do whatever it takes to prevent inflation and to not land German taxpayers with the debts of Spain and Italy. Meanwhile, those two countries' economies are contracting and they're still borrowing, so the debt-to-GDP ratios are rising on both sides of the equation. And nothing has happened this week to increase anyone's desire to own their bonds. The only question will be how long before the next sell-off to test the fragile balance of competing interests and force another crisis summit and rescue package. And when will they be rescued out so that Spain first and then Italy have to leave the euro? They are entirely uncompetitive with Germany and they can't share the same currency without 20 years at least of economic reform. The problem for Australia is that the money that's exiting Spain and Italy is not going to Germany because that's frying pan to fire. It's going to Switzerland and then coming here. The Swiss have put a cap on their currency and they're buying €3 billion a day to defend it. This week, former Reserve Bank board member Warwick McKibben suggested the RBA should do something similar.
What I'm saying is when we know that foreign central banks or anyone is buying Australian dollars and putting it into their portfolio, not actually spending it on Australian goods and services, then the Reserve Bank should just provide that currency to the foreign governments and individuals. It's a very straightforward proposition and it's fairly standard in international economics.
But isn't that just another way of saying that the Reserve Bank should get involved in printing and selling Australian dollars?
Well, if the demand for those dollars is coming from something offshore where the dollars actually don't get pushed back into the Australian economy through a transaction of buying goods and services, then there's nothing wrong with the bank printing more money, getting foreign exchange reserves and putting them on the Reserve Bank's balance sheet and making money out of it until that money is decided to be put back into the country and then we buy it back.
We're getting to the point where AAA rated countries like Australia are going to watch their manufacturing and export industries ruined by portfolio capital flows out of the debt-laden European countries and eventually the United States.